Welcome to Let's Play Touhou Puppet Dance Performance. Touhoumon, y'all! So Touhoumon has a rich and storied history, starting as a hack of Pokemon FireRed ages ago. And it's since evolved, and I'm sure it's even been taken over by different groups of people, but what we have come to is Touhou Puppet Dance Performance, an independently created game made for the sole purpose of being a good Touhou Pokemon game. And don't worry, the entire game is translated, at least the version I'm playing is. It occurs to me that the intro animation is probably a pre-recorded movie, which explains why they couldn't very well translate it. Also of note, as I'm sure many people know, there is an expansion to this game. I will not be playing through the expansion because it wasn't translated, and at this point I think it's been long enough to assume it probably never will be. I may talk more on that later, but for now I'm not going to worry about it. Let's play us some Touhoumon. Hey. How you doing? Look, let me sleep. Hey, wait, I may know you, but your face is partially shrouded in darkness, so I don't know if I know you. Oh, you're just gonna tell me, okay. It's Yukari, y'all. Causing problems, 'cause that's what she does. So I do realize that many people out there won't be as familiar with Touhou, though I'm sure many people know about Pokemon. Many people don't know a lot about Touhou. I'm not going to do another like intro to Touhou video. I did one of those back when I was playing through Touhou Mother ages ago, but I'll try to give a brief rundown about everything. So Yukari, of course, is a character from Touhou, one of many. And she's speaking of Gensokyo, where pretty much everything in Touhou takes place. Look, I'm sitting right in front of you. Can't you tell? Also, I'm almost, but not quite, insulted by the fact that you can actually choose a male in this game. I feel like this should be a choice between two females. I'm a Naka, but I think today I'm gonna be a Tofu. I'm a Toph. So I'm sure everything will become more clear as time goes on, but as has been said, Gensokyo is the place where things that have been forgotten go. And where it's connected to the normal world is the Hakurei Shrine. No, don't abandon me! Okay, well, I got 3 hours to kill. So the Hakurei Shrine is where the border... Actually, I may not be 100% correct here, but it's where the border is between Gensokyo and the outside world. And there's people here. And of course, for us, the Hakure Shrine is merely an old abandoned shrine. You can also run from the start. Important game mechanics. So I think there was some brief discussion about this guy maybe being Zune, who's the creator of Touhou, but off the top of my head, I don't know. Oh man, who's my favorite Touhou? Well, let me tell you about all of the Touhous. That's right, all of the Touhous. So, this game has every Touhou character up until Touhou 15. It does not have characters from Touhou 15 or 16 in it. However, it does have even the characters from various novelizations and side projects in it. So there are a lot of Touhous. And the expansion even includes some of the ones from Touhou 15. I don't think it made Touhou... No, there's no way it got the Touhou 16 ones. But it did get the 15 ones. Important. So, looking at all of the Touhous here, he is asking who is best Touhou. And best Touhou is, of course, Oku. This is important. You cannot progress until you talk to this guy about who is best Touhou. So you can run in back of the shrine and go up Hakure Mountain, but there's nothing really back here. There's some tall grass, but don't worry, you can't get into battles. You can run up and explore a little bit, but you can't really get anything up there. However, if you go off to this side of the shrine and don't get stuck on a tree, you'll find two oddballs. Raiko and Maribel. Raiko and Maribel, two established characters in Touhou universe that I don't exactly know their story, but I think it's that they actually come from the outside world, but due to one odd ability or another, they actually can travel into Gensokyo. The barrier, of course, between Gensokyo and the outside world. Okay, so at this point... Oh, what might you be? You were a very tiny version of the lady who I was talking to on the bus that wasn't creepy at all. Where did you go, tiny person? Man, this is a long, winding path. Where did that tiny person go? I found you! And so perhaps I was forgotten about as well. There's a shuffling. A shuffling. It's a tiny person with a big green bow, and it's Marisa! Marisa Kirisame is one of the main characters of Touhou. Her, alongside Reimu, have been in pretty much every Touhou game. And Marisa is most certainly a character. She's a completely ordinary witch who's not ordinary at all. A puppet? dare they? Nah, I got nothing. I mean, maybe I have a little doll in my backpack, but I don't think it'll fight for me. It wants to tussle. And it's a tiny Utsuho! And Marisa has lended me a tiny Marisa. Okay, so typical Pokemon words. Typical Pokemon crap. Flea, which doesn't work here. Bag, use an item. You can swap puppets out, and you can fight. You can have 4 abilities at once. There's Yin Energy and Yang Energy. Both of them have the Dream type. This game has its own types, with its own weakness, strengths, weaknesses, and all that fun stuff. Both of these are Dream, which is effectively normal type. And it doesn't really matter which one you use here. But I believe there's something about one having a... like, piercing, and one being a... like, one being a focus type shot, and one being a spread type shot. And different puppets will have an affinity for spread shots, and different puppets will have affinity for focus. We're both level 5, so it really doesn't matter. I'm just going to use this again. And I'm on fire! Okay, so you have BP, which is damage, battle power, and SP, which is how many uses you have of this. Once you're out of SP, this is typical Pokemon stuff, once you're out of SP, you can no longer use that ability, but you can rest somewhere and restore all of your SP. It didn't go down, I even hit it! Real hard! Look at it down there, so tiny and plotting. Oh, it likes me! I sure will. You're gonna be Oku. And we're gonna be best friends. So Seal Thread in this game is effectively a Pokeball. I'm special. It's that place we were at, only it doesn't look run down and beat up and crappy. And forgotten. And Sanae. Sanae is another shrine maiden. Kind of a third main character. She's been playable in a lot of the games. But she is a shrine maiden, much like Reimu is. She works a little bit higher up the mountain. Different mountain. I'm a tofu. So for the most part, I feel like giving a good explanation for the title characters in is fairly important. I'm not, especially for people who don't know anything about Touhou, but I'm not going to go this whole game treating everybody like they don't know anything. However, one thing I would like to do is I'm going to be putting up character cards for every puppet we catch, and I'm aiming to catch them all. I'm going to put up a character sheet telling you just a little bit about the Touhou character. Much like what we did with Touhou Mother. Hi! Reimu is in charge of keeping that barrier up. Which, the thing with that barrier is, for the most part, everybody in Gensokyo is pretty cool with just staying in Gensokyo, like they don't want that barrier to go away. But sometimes they get into fights with Reimu. So one of the reasons they came up with spell card rules is so they could potentially beat up Reimu, but not actually threaten killing her and destroying the barrier and, like, destroying Gensokyo. So, that's that. Spell card rules is effectively the gameplay of all of the Touhou games, where you get into, like, the big bullet shooting with each other. A lot of rules surrounding that, and it's interesting that there's, like, a canon reason for it. They want to be able to beat the crap out of each other, but not actually kill each other. And for the most part, all grievances are resolved anymore with spell card battles. I get the feeling somebody involved with making gaps may have helped me get here. Given that I spoke to Yukari on the bus and then saw a tiny Yukari running into the forest. As she does. I like tea sometimes. I'll take some though. And by run away, I mean she's not actually going to let us out of this room. And this is speaking about spell card rules. Since they've figured out how to catch him, apparently, they've decided to solve all their incidents with puppets. There's just so darn many of them around. Okay, so let's take a brief look at puppets. Specifically, Oku. So Oku is a fire light type. Now, neat thing about this is you can look at, these are my abilities that I have on. I have Friction Heat and Yang Energy. Friction Heat puts a damage over time on the opponent. At this level, not worth it. And then stat-wise, we can even see our individual stats, which foe attack and foe defense, foe attack, spa attack, and spa defense are focus and spread, which I mentioned before. So Oku here is much better at focus attack and spread attack. Well, actually she seems pretty even between focus and spread. She's just much better at murdering things than she is at getting hit, which, let's be honest, she's a nuclear raven. Speed, PP. So here's the interesting thing. As you level up your character, as you win fights with your puppets, you get PP. I'll talk more on this later. PP can be used to up your individual stats, as well as learn and assign new skills. It can even be used to do something similar to Pokemon's evolution. You can actually think about this in terms of something similar to EV training, only they just let you. They just made a menu for it and let you put it in whatever you want to put it in. I really love how accessible they made the meta of Pokemon in this game. But that'll be for another time. Right now we can't do much. And Oku's fully healed, so let's go beat up Marisa. Gonna have a hard time resolving an incident with a level 5 Marisa there, Marisa. Yeah, gonna blow you up. Gonna blow you up with Yang Energy Boost. Friction Heat, not worth it at this level. Okay, so Marisa's faster than me, but I do more damage. And this was probably intentionally set up in just such a way. Ooh, that crit's gonna be hard to come back from, though. Because if she kills me next turn, then that's it for me. Oh! Not for that crit. Why did she have to crit? You can beat her just that easily. If she doesn't crit you. Effectively the same scene plays out, whether you win or lose. I think if you win, she just kind of compliments you and says like, man, you're ready for this. Yay! I'm probably a little beat up. No, I'm not. Fully healed me. And so, we're outside the shrine. Hey there! How you doing? He's been chilling there for a couple games. Heck yeah! Give me them Pokeballs, so that I may catch the wild Touhous. I also really like how they handled the sealed thread in this game, but I'll speak more on that later. Thank you, Sanae. And until next time, everyone, when we go on an adventure and make our way to town along Route 1, it's time to go into the wild and beat us up some Pokemon. Puppets. Touhous. Video games.